Okay, sis, so you want to learn how to crochet. Okay, so the first thing you got to do is you got to get yourself some yarn, get yourself a crochet hook, take this yarn, twist it twice, stick your crochet hook in, hold on to this side, swirl this around your finger a few times, then grab a hold of this yarn and pull it through, and pull it through, and pull it through, and pull it through, pull it through, pull it through. Okay, so let's just start with this much, okay, as an example. All right, so now we've got this much, right? You see it here? I like this little chain going on. All right, so now you're going to take your crochet hook and you're going to go back through the first loop. Just one side of it is fine. The first loop, and you grab your yarn and you pull it through, and then you grab the yarn and pull it through both. And now you've made your very first single crochet. Hey sis, okay, so now I showed you the first one, right? So just do that same thing straight across all those stitches till you get to the end. All right, now that we're at the end, you got your little tail here where we started. Okay, now we got this nice little straight end. Okay, so now what we're going to do is we're going to grab it, pull it through once, flip your work over. Okay, now that your work is flipped, now you take your crochet hook and you stick it through the next loops, and then you grab it, you pull it through, and you pull it through again. Then you go to the next one, grab it, pull it through again. Then the next one, grab it, pull it through again. And then the last one, we're going to very carefully go through there, go through both loops, grab it, and pull it through. Now you have this tiny little section. Now we're at the other end, and I'll show you that in a second. Okay sis, so I want to show you two separate tricks, okay? So when you're at the end of your row, if you're having trouble because like you've crocheted it really tight, you didn't make that loop like loose enough where you could get it in there. So there's a few things you can do. One, you can kind of twist your needle sideways, and so the hook part grabs the yarn and then kind of forces it through, and then you can pull it through and pull it through. Okay, so then if you notice this right here, how it's got this little dip, okay, well, we don't really want that, right? Because what will happen is it'll start pulling your work inward, and you'll have this like, you know, where your edge is not perfectly straight. So there's two things you can do. One, you can pull it back out like that, and once you get to there, you go, okay, well, this hole is not available to me because it's really, really tight. So I'll just go in over here on the side and grab it and pull it up, and then make your one loop for the next row. Okay, and see, as you can see, that straightened that right out, made it perfect. No big deal, right? Okay, but if you want to do it another way, so since you worked so hard to get that crochet hook right into this last stitch where you force that sucker in there, and you grab it and you pull it up and you go, oh, man, it's starting to curve a little bit. Okay, so when you go to do your next row, you do carry over, carry up one, right? And then right here, all you're going to have to do is just stick your needle right through there. Make sure you go through both loops, grab it and pull it through. And what that'll do is that'll give you a little bit of extra yarn right there, and that will straighten out your edges. Okay, so that's just two little tricks for, you know, when you're kind of going wayward and you need to straighten out your edges. Okay, all right, give me more in a minute. Okay, sis, all right, so now that we've discussed basically how to start and do some single crochets and how you do your edges all nice and straight, what I wanted to go back and point out is the first row that we did where we just did those fun little chains. Okay, so we're going to go back to that, and I will show you. Depending on how big you want your project to be is how many of these first loops you do. Okay, so let's say you want to do like just maybe like coaster size. Okay, So let's say we're going to do a coaster. All right. So I'm going to do it, and I'm going to put in, just, well, I mean, you could probably count it, but I'm just going to eyeball it and say, okay, well, that's about the right size of the coaster. Okay. So then I'm going to do that. That's how far I'm going to go. And then I'm going to go back and I'm going to do, start my first row. And on my first row, every time on your first row, you only want to go inside one of the sides of the loops, okay? I don't know if I pointed that out or not, so I wanted to make sure I said that. So only go in one side, because if you go in both sides of the loop, it's not gonna give you the right edge, because basically this is like your bottom edge. I'm sorry, my cat is attacking my yarn. Anywho, so now that we've established that, now we're just gonna go ahead and just do like single crochet. We'll just go in one loop at a time, one side of that loop all the way down until we get to the end of the row. And so what I'm going to show you in other videos, I'm just basically going to show you like pretend like we're making like a coaster, just a plain little tan coaster, because this is the yarn that I had right in front of me. And then after I show you this, then I'll show you some other cool stuff. Okay, so just keep on doing that. We'll get back to it. Okay, sis, so I did like 4 rows, okay? So I just wanted to show you, I got like 4 rows here. Okay, so I was thinking, I forgot to mention to you, on a normal row, when everything's going straight, do not start your row in this hole. Make sure you start your row in this hole. So that first one is your carry up, okay? Where you add one single stitch to carry up, and it can get kind of confusing, but the only time you want to do in there is if you're starting to have that curvature that I was telling you about, where it was like everything's kind of going inward. Otherwise you won't continue to have straight edges. So your goal is to always pay attention to your edges, make sure that you're keeping them as straight as possible, because that's really what makes your work look great, right? Okay, anyway, so I wanted to show you that. And then I'm just going to go ahead and just finish this row real quick. And then I was thinking maybe it would be fun to kind of show you another stitch. So I was thinking maybe I can show you how to do the double stitch. Okay, so I'm going to get over here to the end of this row. And then when I start the next row, I will start it in a double stitch. Let's see. Do you have any questions or anything? Just like shoot me a message, whatever. Let me know how you're doing, if this is working out for you. I'm hoping that this is at least giving you, kind of the basics on how you do this, and that you're having some fun. I mean, I love crocheting. I could do it all day, every day. It's one of my favorite things to do. All right, so I'm going to send you another video, because I want to make sure this doesn't get too long. And then on the next video, what I'll do is I'll show you that whole double crochet stitch. Okay? And we'll do something fun. All right.